A highly requested video, a video on a topic I have never really talked about too much, which is my personal spending habits. Now I want to make this very clear before we get deep into the video. This is very different from my business spending. So I want to break down what I spend personally, kind of how that's structured and what my habits have become. And to be fair, it has changed so much over the years. So first of all, for those of you who might be new to the channel, welcome. My name is Hayden Bowles. I'm 20 years old, currently live in Arizona. Now, I run multiple companies primarily in the e-commerce space, and I do a little bit of real estate, which you're gonna actually see inside of this video. And this is kind of the habits that I've built, and it's a little bit skewed like I mentioned, because with all this quarantine stuff going on, I've actually started trying to spend less personally, and just because I haven't ever really cared. I definitely used to swipe my card more, spend more money primarily on food. I would probably spend like $1,500 to $2,000 a month on food, just because I like to travel, I like to go places. And this is definitely a skewed number because, you know, this year is the one year where I'm not traveling a lot. So I didn't spend 3 months overseas spending like $20,000 doing that. And there's a lot less expenses for sure, just on the personal side. But I still want to break down what it is I'm spending, kind of how that's structured, and just kind of show you that entire week. So I have done this for the past 7 days, from Sunday to Sunday. Every Sunday, that's my grocery shopping day. I've been actually very good and very strict with making food, just being nice and good and healthy at my house, working out, doing my stuff, and working. So let me walk you through what it is I did during my week, and make sure to drop a like on the video so that I can be inspired to keep spending less and less money. All right, let's get into it. So Sunday was a pretty typical day for me. I woke up nice and early, which is something I usually only do on the weekends. I got up, drove about 45 minutes, and went skydiving, which has become a huge hobby and fun passion of mine. I'll kind of put up a clip in a video of me having some fun in the sky with some friends. But that cost, just so you guys know, about 25 bucks every time I jump out. I just do it solo on my own. And I did do one thing called a hop and pop, which is where you get out of the plane early. It's only like halfway up, just, you know, quick 10 seconds of free fall and then pull your parachute. That costs less. So what you see, that $67 is 2 times at full altitude, and then 1 hop and pop at like 5,000 feet instead of the normal like 12, which was $17. So 67 bucks, that's pretty normal. I usually skydive once a week on average. Sometimes it'll be more, sometimes it won't happen. Like this weekend right now as I'm filming this, I didn't go. So pretty simple with that, 50 to 100 bucks weekly there. And then it was my grocery shopping day. So when I got back after I finished all my work, I went to Walmart, which is where I do all my shopping, and I spent $119.78. Now I want to break this purchase down because I have set a $100 limit every single week for myself in terms of food. So only $60.12 of this was food. The rest of that was air filters for my house. So in reality, that purchase price is doubled because I had to buy some filters for my house, and I believe I could probably write most of that off. So regardless, had to do a home purchase. Only $60 of that was food, but regardless, I still spent $119.78. That's all I spent for the day. Ate at home, did whatever. Monday, fast forward to the next day. Monday's a work day for me. I mean, every day is pretty much a work day, but I didn't do much. I worked all day. I had a good time, swam in my pool, worked out, and then I went and had dinner with some friends at their house. I brought a brisket that I had already had in my fridge, and it didn't cost me anything. So that was a great day. Here's a picture of the lovely dinner for you. And Tuesday, fast forward, things get a little bit more interesting throughout the week. I've been scouring for different real estate deals in this market where there's definitely a little bit of a shortage. I went and looked at a potential investment property that was super fun, super cool to see, you know, just kind of thinking on it, running through the numbers and taking a look. Then I actually went out to eat for, I think, the first time in the month, which was probably 12 days so far without actually eating out. I went to Korean barbecue, one of my favorite restaurants, with a friend of mine. I ended up paying. We have kind of a good system going. I'll pay, then he'll pay, I'll pay, he'll pay, whatever. So it just bounces back and forth. That was $69.47. So in reality, if you're just kind of splitting it up, it costed me $34.73, because I'm sure we'll go again later this month and he'll be picking up the tab. So it's not really a big deal, but that right there, about 70 bucks. Fast forward to the next day, Wednesday. I was super busy with meetings. I was super busy. I was running around like a freaking chicken with my head cut off. I was busy working. I was busy doing stuff work related. I did not have time to eat at my house in the morning. It was a very early morning. I was running around, and thankfully I had like a 9-minute break between I was at the bank and the meeting with an accountant or a CPA of mine, And so in that time frame, I was able to grab a sandwich and eat it in the car. That costed me $4.81 from Starbucks, which I never really go to Starbucks. I don't like coffee or anything, but just got a sandwich there for about $5. It was quick, easy, boom, done, keep it moving. Later that day, I had to put gas in my friend's car that I was using. That was $25.12. All my cars are in the shop with some sort of thing going on. We'll get to those expenses in a moment, but fill this car up with gas. I had been using it strictly for business miles, so I'm able to write off that gas. And then later in the day, I made my one dumb, slightly regrettable purchase of the week, which was I spent $8.54 on fast food. I rarely eat fast food. It's usually like a once every other month type of thing, but whatever. I was really bored, which is definitely why I kind of got into trouble with doing that. When I'm bored, I do dumb stuff, but I went and got it, spent $8, $9. It's not really about the $9 there that bothers me. It's more so the health, and that's kind of what irked me a little bit. Is I did it, I had the craving, I didn't resist, whatever, I went and did it. Wednesday's over. Let's move on to Thursday. So Thursday I didn't spend anything. It was just like Monday, $0 spent. I worked most of the morning. I think around noon, I went and looked at that potential investment property again. Later in the day, I ended up making an offer on that property. Still cost me nothing, zero out of pocket. So that was a $0 day, just eating food at home and having a good time working. Fast forward to Friday. This is where it is still my spending. It is still personal spending, but it was definitely a one-time expense. I've been looking at dogs. I've been trying to get a dog. I always grew up with dogs, and now was kind of the right time for me to do it. So on Friday, I purchased a dog. I rescued him from an animal shelter locally, $399. I think the adoption fee was $299, and I donated an additional $100, which means that charitable donation is a write-off for the business. Now, regardless, that was still $399 spent, and then I went straight from there to PetSmart to get kind of everything for him, which costed $191.56. Now, if a dog is coming into my family, if anyone's coming into my circle, my family, they're treated like family. So I'm not trying to cheap out on an expense. I'm gonna get them everything they need and get the good quality stuff. So about $200 there, 191. Not too upset at that because I've been planning this. This has been something I've wanted to do for almost a year. So that's totally fine. Saturday, the last day in this chain of days of spending, I didn't do too much. The only thing I did was work most of the day. I had a date flake on me. She had some family thing go on later in the evening, which is good, boys, because then I didn't have to spend money on food. So we're good there. We got to cheap out on Saturday, and I just got to eat some burgers at home. I spent $44.81 on gas to fill up my friend's GTR, which I've just been using his cars since my cars are in the shop. So $44 to fill it up in gas. Most of that was business miles. I did use that vehicle to like pick up the dog and some stuff like that, so I'm not gonna write all that purchase off. But that is my spending for the week, which seems pretty light, and it's definitely more light than usual, so I really want to stress that. But let's take a look. We'll go through the totals, but let's take a look as well at my monthly expenses averaged down to weekly. Things like my mortgage, things like what I actually spend on car insurance, stuff like this. So let's talk about it. The total, by the way, for that spending for the week was $930.09. Probably a pretty insane number for me because, again, usually I spend around that or more than that. But also, you got to keep in mind, only $339.53 of that was like typical spending because I'm not getting a dog every week. And that expense with the dog and PetSmart accounted for $600, give or take. So that was a huge portion of it. So super happy with where my spending was this week, especially just kind of basic expenses like food. Very happy with myself for that. Could definitely optimize a little bit, but I'm not gonna be too picky. Moving in the right direction for sure. Now, monthly expenses split up on a weekly basis. My mortgage for my home, you guys might have seen the new home I purchased a few months ago. My out-of-pocket mortgage, I have one friend who helps pay rent. He pays rent, and then my out-of-pocket, so what I'm actually spending, is $2,300 a month towards the mortgage. That's what's out of pocket for me. So you take the mortgage amount, my amount plus his, that covers the mortgage, okay? So 25% of what I'm contributing towards the mortgage is a write-off because I have multiple office spaces in my house, Okay, so I kind of got this house. It is an investment property as well. I'm doing renovations. I plan on flipping it in the next few years. And I think I can make some good money doing that. And yeah, that's kind of the plan. So with my mortgage right now, which is about $4,200 a month, that amount, $4,300, well, what I'm getting in rent from my friend is basically covering all the interest, so my money's going to principal pay down, and I can write a portion of that off. So it's actually a free place to live, you know, and there are other expenses. It's a huge home. It's 6,100 square feet, which means we have other expenses that are way too high. Check this out. Utilities, Wi-Fi, landscaping, pool, Scorpion guy, all this random little crap. Let's get into it. During the summer months right now, it is ridiculously expensive for, the electric, doing the AC, all that stuff is expensive. I experienced this with my previous home that I had for a year that I was renting, where my electric bill was upwards of $1,500 a month. So I'm gonna be conservative here. It hasn't been this high yet, but $1,500 a month in the electric bill, okay? I'm gonna assume another $500 a month for water, gas, any of that other stuff. So $2,000 a month for basic utilities, which is the peak. It'll usually probably be about half that, maybe $1,200. $115 for Wi-Fi, $260 for my pool maintenance. They come twice a week. They gotta keep it clean, especially in the summer. Otherwise it gets green, algae grows, etc., etc. $320 a month for yard and landscaping maintenance. It's on an acre. It's a big yard. There's grass to mow. There's probably 100 bushes to trim. I am gonna eventually start mowing the grass myself, but I've been busy as of right now. I actually like to mow the grass. That was one of my first businesses, but I just haven't had the time. So $320 to that. So the total for all these expenses, which might really seem mind-boggling, and it truly is very expensive, is $2,695. Well, that $2,695 is split in two. So my out-of-pocket on the worst possible month, overestimating, is $1,347.50. And I can write off about 25% of that because I have offices in my home. So usually it's probably gonna come out to me spending $800, $900, and again, I can write a piece of that off. So it's not huge. It still isn't out-of-pocket expense, but I'm able to get that write-off later in the year, a little bit of that. So that's great. Other expenses could include my car insurance, which is about $1,500 a month. I'm actually in the process of selling 2 out of my 4 cars. One is already gone, the Nissan GTR. You guys will probably see a video on that soon. However, that insurance was $100 a month because it was the 4th car. It was listed as a secondary. I never really drove it, so it was super inexpensive. So that's not going to make a big difference. But car insurance, $1,500. I don't have any car payments except for one of the cars because that was the vehicle I bought when I was 17 to build credit. So the BMW M4 payment is $965 a month. I just make it $1,000. So I pay $1,000 flat. Just whatever. Just send that off. So car expenses on a monthly basis usually comes out to about $2,500. Again, I can write a portion of that off with the insurance just because the business use of the vehicles, the marketing stuff, however you want to finagle it. But those are kind of some of my base overhead expenses. I've tried to think about it. I don't think I am missing any others on my base expenses. Now, I do want to make it clear. This is personal spending. I don't want to get into the business spending because this is going to take forever. It's going to take me 3 days just to map it out, but it gets ridiculous. I spend multiple 6 figures a month inside of my business. There's office space, there's employees on payroll, there's contractors, there's probably about $8,000 to $10,000 a month in software fees, $10,000 a month in merchant fees, all the payment processing, order invoicing, packaging, boxing, labels, every little thing, advertising. It's death by 1,000 cuts. It's a million little things going on. So that's where it just gets complicated. This is my personal spending. And just to give you guys a ratio, I really don't like to talk too much about how much money I make, but I do make 7 figures net a year. And so this level of spending for me, I'm super comfortable with. Anything I buy, I don't like to have huge expenses. So my vehicles, which are slightly dumb purchases, I buy those in cash just so if I really need to sell it, I can get out like that. I don't exactly have to worry about it. Now, there's other things as well that I do want to just mention that we can factor in here. So I have 3 other properties besides this house. So I have another $5,900 a month worth of mortgages, maybe $5,800, but those are all covered by tenants plus another $1,000 to $1,200 a month. So, that's all covered. That's just, again, an investment property, making a little bit of money there. So all that stuff is covered, but this is what my base expenses are. Off the weekly spending, $930 Don't forget the 9 cents. And then in the worst possible scenario, $5,147.50 for everything else, like the overall monthly, and that's again going towards the mortgage, which, you know, I'm gonna get some of that back down the road. Mortgage, the worst possible expense month ever, assuming that for all the utilities and stuff like that, car insurance. I don't think I'm leaving anything out. Maybe I'm having a brain fart, but regardless, that's kind of what my base expenses are. Now, if you add those together, 930 and 9 cents, we'll never forget that 9 cents, that's about $6,077.59 a month. I've always assumed myself to be like a $9,000 to $13,000 a month spender in terms of my regular expenses, because there's other things. So for an example, my BMW right now, I'm picking it up today, it's in the shop. It just needed 2 new front tires. They were completely bald. That's gonna be like 650 bucks. So there's like little things. I don't wanna say that's one time, because there's always a little thing going on. You know, okay, AC repair in my house, 110 bucks. I needed a new filter in the pool, 450 bucks. There's like a lot of little things that happen. So, you know, 6,000 base, I would assume like 7,500 a month. So I'm totally okay with that. Again, a portion of that I can also write off just as a business expense, but that is what my weekly expenses are. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took me a long time to put this together, film all the little clips and map out the week and whatnot. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I would greatly appreciate if you guys smash the like button. Let me know if you want me to potentially do a what I make in a week video, or any other types of content you would like to see like this one here on the channel. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that answered a lot of questions. I've been getting a lot of people asking about this. I see it's kind of a cool trend going on. It's like what you spend in a week, what a lot of people spend in a week in Los Angeles and blah, blah, blah. So I am here in Arizona, and there is what I spend in a week. Again, if you're new to the channel, my name is Hayden Bowles. I would greatly appreciate it if you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. We have about 230 or 240,000 amazing people subscribed here. A lot of them business oriented. That's most of the content I post here, but the occasional travel or car video as well. So we like to have fun. I would love it if you stick around and check out some other videos. And with that being said, I will be seeing you in the next one. Peace.